Hey, welcome back to Rich Adventures. I realize I've never even really actually introduced myself. My name's Jeff Rich. And my wife is actually a really private person, so I don't have her permission to use her in videos yet. Maybe someday. At this point, she'd rather not be part of the YouTube channel that I'm apparently creating. Anyway, September 12th, Saturday the 12th, we're supposed to be going to Hot Springs, Arkansas with our new RV on the 17th. It's not being delivered on time, as most people would probably guess is a potential hazard with ordering an RV. Should have been delivered in mid-March, then the end of March, then the first week of April, and here we are, April 12th, hasn't been delivered. I've made phone calls myself, and I finally got through to the transport company, and they said it'll be here on Monday morning. So Monday morning, I'm supposed to go pick it, or I'm supposed to go down and start to look at it. The company I'm buying it from, Byerly RV in St. Louis, their response was, well, you don't expect to take it on Monday if it just gets here on Monday, do you? And I'm like, of course I do. I've been talking about this for weeks. You guys should have had it a week or two ago. And yes, I expect to take it. I've told you I have a trip. And they're like, well, we'll do the best we can. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be on another video. Since I'm going to try and put something out on Tuesday. And I probably won't have the RV on Tuesday. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see how it goes. Bottom line is, what I decided to do is share with you today a bike trip. So we purchased Lectric bikes. Actually, Lectric bikes, the Lectric bike company. We purchased the XPeak 3.0 bikes, and I'll show those to you in a second. And we're going to go for a little bike ride today, just having fun with our bikes. We've rode them a couple of times now, and I got to tell you, electric bikes are a game changer, total game changer. Here, let me share with you what we've previously had. So right here, this is my bike. My wife's is actually hanging way back there. But as you can see, it's a Trek. These are Trek 7.4s, come with the carbon front fork. And when we got those, our son helped us buy those. We've had them, I don't know, 8 or 9 years now. We've ridden them. I put 1,000 plus miles on my bike, I'm sure. We've ridden them quite a lot. And when we got those, we thought, man, these are game changers because, they're lightweight. I mean, I could pick this up with one hand pretty easily, so right there. Anyway. I don't know what it weighs, but it's a light bike. It's got the narrow, almost road tire. It's a little bit probably wider than an actual road bike. It's got decent handlebars that you can sit up pretty good on. This thing's geared amazing. You can see the front sprocket. We got really, really small front gear for those big hills, really big chain gear for going fast. The back gears, we got lots and lots of gears. So this equated to a significant game changer over just normal bicycling. It allowed us to do a lot. Problem is, my wife and I, we're not avid bikers. We're not in great physical shape. We're older. So we really limited ourselves to doing like old railroad trails, those bike trails that are built on the railroad beds. Fairly flat, almost always flat, usually concrete or asphalt. They work great, and we loved it. So what do we have now? Well, first of all, what we have is my daughter's bike in the way. Actually, it's another Trek. It's a 7.2. I'm gonna have to move that out of the way, and underneath that cover, we have our two bikes. Let me get them out. Oh, there they are, uncovered. You can see the white one is actually the step through. This bar right here is added on because we need it for the bike rack. I'll show you that in a second. And mine is the high step bike. I don't know what you call it. When we bought them, they come with a light. They came with the lock. They came with the back rack, and I bought this extra actually, and I also bought the bigger seat. So that's what they are. And why did I go with this particular one, the XPeak 3.0? Well, I thought that we were really going to do some, some rougher terrain maybe, and I wanted the ability to ride on the beach. So the 4-inch tires were kind of maybe a necessity, I don't know. At this point, I'm not really 100% certain that I went with the right ones, but that's what I went with. By the way, just as a comparison, these are the original seats. You can see the wide seat is considerably wider, just to put it down there. But I'm here to tell you that this original seat probably would have done just fine. I'm not really sure that buying the extra wide seats was a great investment. If you're gonna buy them, I just get the regular seats and try it out for a while, and then make a decision on whether you wanted to go with the bigger seat. All right, on to putting the bike rack on the car. So, got our bike rack out, and I'm using a Swagman bike rack. It's got a lot of great features. I saw it reviewed by, I don't remember which influencer it was, but one of them reviewed it. I started looking into it. And some of the key things about bike racks and electric bikes is not all of them are capable of handling your electric bike. So you got to be really careful about what you choose. So here, this bike lock, or correction, this bike rack is certified for use on the back of an RV trailer, which is very important. So I've got a 2.5-inch hitch, and this is a 2-inch, so you have to have an adapter. I had to get that separate. And then you got to line up all the holes, which is not always all that easy. Get all the holes lined up. I don't know that you can see that from there. Let's take a closer look. You can see this is the 2-inch. That's an adapter, 2.5. And then this bolt goes through there, and it's actually threaded so that this thing tightens down so it doesn't shake and rattle and roll. I'll tighten that down. There we go. Turn it with my fingers a little, maybe. See, if it's not tight, you see how much that moves? Okay, once you get it tight, much more solid. The bike rack actually comes with a lock. So you just put that right on the end. And now the rack is secured to the vehicle. Of course, when you're putting it on your receiver on your trailer, you don't need the adapter. The 2-inch goes straight in. So you got to have a wrench to tighten down the bolt. You got to have your keys to lock it. Now, a really cool feature here, and unfortunately, when I use it on my trailer, I can't have this. Because what they do is they tell you that when you're on the trailer, you actually have to put a bolt through here rather than just the pin, because the trailer shakes so much more than the back of the truck. But on the truck, I can just use the pin. Okay, now for the very tricky part. So the rack, by the way, is warranted, certified to carry up to 150 pounds of bikes. These bikes, and I'm sure that's without this rack, this bag, the lock, supposedly weigh 65 pounds. I have not weighed them myself without the battery installed. So, got to carry them on here without the battery. The battery weighs 10 pounds. That's in the truck. That gives me a little bit of buffer, but not much, because, like I said, you got all this extra weight that I've already added. The tricky part, getting this on the rack at 65 pounds. So I've kind of come up with a way to do it. So I just grab the back brake, which locks the wheel. I pick up the front end and I put it on the rack. Then I grab the back and I drive the front tire into place. Pick up the bike and put the bike tire in place. Now, I did screw up already. Can I lay that on there? Yeah, I can lay that right there. How did I screw up? Well, I forgot to take these pieces off of here. These parts come right off of there like that. These are what actually holds the bike on. And like that. This was in my way, this hook. Now I can raise up the center bar that holds it in place. Stand the bike up right here, and you put the long hook on first in the back. Get that down as far as you can. Now this also has a lock, so you can lock this. I will, as a matter of fact, because we're going to go out to lunch before we go ride. So if I lock this, assuming I got the right key here, see if I might not have the right one. Might be that one. No, definitely that one. Well, there we go. You can lock that in place. Now that bike is secured on there and theoretically couldn't be stolen. To help make sure it doesn't fall off the rack, you need to install these straps over the wheels. So obviously this rack is also built specifically for up to a 4-inch tire. Actually, I think it's up to a 5-inch tire. I don't know that those bikes made that way, but apparently. Put the front one on. All right. Let get my wife's bike. All right, got my wife's bike here. Get it in position to do the same, basically the same thing. Now, my assumption is people that own bikes know this. You should stagger them front one way and the opposite bike, the front the other way. And my recommendation is always put the drive side away from each other. So this one's got the front that way, puts the drive side towards the truck. This one will have the front towards the passenger side, and the drive side will be towards tailgate side, if you will. Again, we line it up about where we want it. We squeeze the back brake. We lift it up. Put that tire right into that front mount. Just like that. And we pick up the bike sideways, up, 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 right into place. And just lift it right in. There we go. Popped right in. Now, you can point this up here. Now, you can see this bar that I bought separate from the actual bike rack, but from the same company. It mounts up here and then on the back by the seat post. But that is important because you got to have something that the hook can grab onto. So we get that one on, just like that. Just make sure we're on all the way. And we'll lock that one down too. I'm using the right key. There we go. All right, that one's locked. So, once again, in theory, your bikes are now secure and shouldn't be able to steal them. Go ahead and put these straps on the wheels. And there you have it. Bikes are mounted, ready to go. Off we go. So, a few weeks ago, my son asked me what I thought of my Wolfbox dash cam recorder, and I told him honestly, I really haven't looked at much of the video yet, so I thought I'd throw some of it on here. We're going to be looking at some video of the front of the vehicle and the rear of the vehicle, two different cameras being recorded simultaneously. Unfortunately, it records in MP4 with a codec of H.265, and the free version of DaVinci Resolve only uses H.264. I could get some software and downgrade the codec and make it work properly, but as it is, I can't really see the video playback on my computer, but I do know it's there, and hopefully when I make my YouTube video out of all this, it will work fine. At any rate, right now I'm recording in the blind, and it didn't allow me to do one of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to do a picture-in-picture with the rear camera showing the simultaneous view as the forward camera. So what I'm doing is I'm going to show you some couple minutes of forward camera, and then I'm going to switch to the rear camera. And when I do switch to the rear camera, it'll be for a 1-minute segment. It will show you exactly what the forward camera was recording for the 1 minute prior to switching to the rear camera. Hope that makes sense. And then we're going to enter into the town of Cottleville, where Plank Road Pizza is, where we're going for lunch. I'm going to stop talking for just a minute and speed up some of the playback, and then we'll get into town. We enter into Cottleville, you might notice there's a pavilion, and it's actually a grassy area with currently there's eight food trucks sitting there. Really nice little area, has a bar. Um, it's AstroTurf, and there's a stage there for live entertainment. They've got a big screen TV. You can take your families down there. It's really nice. So Cottleville's a real nice little town. Highly recommend if you're in the St. Louis area, you go check it out. Plank Road Pizza, where we're going to have lunch, has a wonderful lunch special. Small salad, about an 8 or 9 inch pizza. The pizzas there have been rated best in the area quite often. So just recommend it. Check it out if you're ever in the area. We're about 1.5 miles into our bike ride on the Centennial Greenway. Unlike a rail trail, this thing's up and down, up and down. It was challenging on the Trek bikes, but on these, piece of cake. Getting ready to go across the Missouri River right here. Here's Coure Lake. Here's the trail. The other side's a little wreck area. So earlier we came down from there and we went that way, all the way around the lake. And we just came from right there after looping around the lake. So far we've gone 8.8 miles. There's a lot of people out there. It's a nice day. It's a little chilly, but it's a nice day. Sunny. Here we are at the end of the ride. Nice 14.2 miles. And as you can see, we've registered no battery loss. Crazy. Well, that's it for this episode. Just got to get the bikes off, get the rack off, and put things away. Yeah, nice little bike ride. The bikes work great. My thought is they're definitely a good investment. I'm not, as I said earlier, I'm not really sure that the XPeak was the right bike for us. But I'll tell you that on our ride, and I apologize that I didn't show you any of the actual ride, but I don't have a way to hold my phone and I don't have any other way to record, and I'm not going to crash, and I'm not going to drop my phone to make the video. Not quite that good yet. So I didn't record any actual riding, as you saw. But while I was riding, around the lake, there's a beach area, and there was nobody in the water because the water's way too cold still. And I went down and plowed through the sand, and man, it was like no big deal, just riding through sand, but made it without any issue whatsoever. I had on Power Assist 4, riding at about, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 mile an hour, and it just went right through it, no problem whatsoever. So that was good. It'll actually do that kind of terrain. Don't know what else to say about them. One thing I do have to say is they're both class 2 bikes, which means they have throttle assist, which is right here, as well as the pedal assist. And these use a torque converter pedal assist to the rear wheel 750 watt motor in there. And with the pedal assist or with the throttle in class 2, it'll go to 20 miles an hour. They can be changed to class 3. There's a combination of things that you do with the controller, and it'll change it to class 3, which is pedal assist up to 28. However, what I was going to get at is, for some reason, my throttle stopped working. So I'm going to have to see what they do for that. Hopefully cover it with warranty with no issue, and we'll find out. All right, hopefully you like this video. Next video better be FedEx truck going by. Next video better be me picking up my RV, which is supposed to be there Monday morning. We'll see. All right, later.